Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Can everyone tell me if you can see everything? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone can see it? Okay, cool. So again, for the people who just joined, my name is Sampreeth. I'll walk you through Python, the fundamentals, everything you need to know, right? So basically for today's class, don't hesitate to ask any questions. You can unmute your mic, or you can like use a chat. There's a chat box over there, right? So don't worry. I'll try and make it as interactive as possible. So yeah, for today's class, I'm just gonna walk you through the background of Python and like its capabilities, why you should learn it, right? And then we can download it and download your software off python.org. That way you can run your own program, right? And then that's what'll make it fun. Once you start doing that, it'll be more exciting, right? And then I'll run you through some basic programming concepts, variables and constant data types, right? And then I can walk you through running your programs. So that's the agenda for today. Okay, basically, I don't want to bore you with too much like boring theory, but like Python is a really powerful language. It uses like English-like statements, so it's like really easy to understand, which is good for people starting out. It's used as the backend for a lot of famous websites. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of Reddit or Netflix. It actually uses Python as its backend. It's like a really widely used, and it also machine learning. Python is like one of the most popularly used. It's also used in a lot of powerful mathematical tasks. It's just like a powerful language, right? Yeah, it can accomplish more than a lot of other languages with just like a few lines of code, right? But this is all just boring stuff, just like for you guys to know. Everyone following? Everyone can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so next we're gonna go to python.org. Okay, so can everyone open a new tab on Google Chrome? Everyone have Google Chrome on their laptops? Okay, right? Yeah, everyone can just open python.org. Okay, and it should open this page. Everyone's following, right? If you're not following or something's not working, just tell me. Right, unmute your mic and just tell me. Cool? Everyone's on this website? You can just like unmute your mic and say yeah or something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Simon, you see this downloads option over here? You want to open this and go to Windows. Okay, if you guys, is anyone on like a Mac or anything like that? Everyone's on Windows, right? A Microsoft computer or a Windows computer, Windows 10, if you guys have heard of it. Right, so we go on Windows. Okay, and you should get to this page over here. Everyone's following, right? Because like it's a little bit confusing. So yeah.
Is everybody following?
Yeah.
Great.
Right. Okay.
Okay, now scroll down. So scroll down a little bit, and you should see 3.7.7 Python. Okay, and under that, there should be a download Windows x86 -64 executable installer right here. If you see on my screen, this option right here. Okay, what you want to do is you want to just click on it, and it should install something to your downloads folder. Everyone got it? Anyone want to share their screen if they have any trouble? This is important, so you can ask me if you have a question. Hello, everyone here? You're following? Right, just say yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. That's great. Now you just click on this and it'll open the setup. Right? Now when it opens the setup, it should be done for everybody. Click this install now button. Okay? and then it asks you,
Do you know anyone here?
and then you click yes. Huh?
Look at my profile picture, not so.
Well, I can't hear you. Are you talking? Okay, yeah. So this setup's gonna take under next to your Windows icon. You basically click on that and type Python. Okay, everyone got it? And then you will see this IDLE option. This is basically your environment. Anytime you want to code, you type Python at the bottom and you open this. Just click on that. And it should open this thing called Python 3.7.7 shell. Okay, everyone got it? Just type yes in the chat if you got it.
Could you do it again?
Sure. At the bottom, you see this type to search. Just put your cursor here and click on it. Okay. Now you type in Python. Right? Are you following? You said you can get it, right?
App open करना है.
And once you type in Python, there should be this that shows up as best match. This thing over here. That's all you have to do on that.
Yes, I couldn't see the search.
You can see the
I couldn't see the search.
search. Oh, okay. Do you have a Windows button on your keyboard? Like at the bottom left, maybe there's like a next to all
Yeah.
and next to everyone. Click on that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I have to search there, and then
And then type in Python. Did you get it?
Yeah, done. Yeah, I can.
Okay, and now click IDLE.
Idea.
Okay, it works perfect.
I downloaded Python 3.77, but it's showing 3.8.2.
Because you downloaded.
Oh, you said on Windows, right?
Yeah.
You might have clicked the one on top. I mean, it's fine. It's probably the same thing. Leave it for now. It's probably just like one version behind your head. Is it opening the? Did it finish installing for you though?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you could open it from the search bar at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Why don't you show me your screen to me once?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to share your screen, Ashwin?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. There should be a share screen option at the bottom.
One sec. Which screen?
हमको share नहीं करना.
Share screen and then on the top. Yeah. There.
Is it coming?
I think it's starting. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Oh, okay. Don't open that. Go to your search bar again.
Okay.
Type in Python. Okay, so you see the IDLE at the bottom of the
This
last.
one?
Yeah, that one. Open that. Is it open?
No, I don't think so.
Try it again. Is it? Yeah, the IDLE. It's at the top now. Yeah, there you go. That one. That's one. Oh, it opened twice. Okay. Yeah. Unshare your screen.
Yeah.
I can reshare.
You can stop sharing now. Great. Say thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so now you've got your shell working. Now in this shell, you can type basic Python commands. So like 2 + 2, right? That's the math operator. 2 + 2, it'll output 4. Okay, or you can type 3 minus 1, right? That'll output 2. So just some basic stuff. And then for division, it's 3. You see the slash next to the shift button,
Yeah.
right? You do that, that's division. So it'll be 3 divided by 3. Okay, so that'll give you 1, right? So this is just basic division, subtraction, addition. And then there's also a multiplication. So do you see on your 8, if you hold shift and click 8, it should give you a star.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard of it like this. So on your 8 and you hold shift and click 8, there should be a star. This is your multiplication operator. So now if you do this times 2, you should get 6. Okay? Everyone, it's working for everybody? No problem? Just type yes in the chat. Alright, cool. Okay, nice. So this is just for running the basic commands, but if you want to run like a proper like piece of code, a proper like more than one line of code, you have to click on this thing called file, okay, on the top left, file, and click new file.
David Gerg has said no on the chat.
Oh, really?
Now I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so you see this file option on the top left? So you click on that and you click on new file. Okay, working for everybody? And it'll open this untitled new open window. Okay, working for everybody? Now this you can actually run more than one line of code because you can like go like, right? So this is how you're going to run a larger code. You can't use that for everything. Okay, is this working for everybody? Okay, cool. So now what we have to do is you have to save this file. We have to save it to our desktop. So if you actually click on file and click save as, you can save this file. Okay? So before you can run the file, you always have to save the file. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're saving the file. So now save it to your desktop, say, and give it a name. Name it like test, right? And then save it in your desktop. Okay, is it working for everybody? Anyone have a problem? Just unmute your mic and say you have a problem. Or is it working for everybody? You got it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Who are the people who haven't downloaded Python? Just write your name in the chat. Who haven't downloaded it yet? So that we can look at it after class.
After class, we'll help you install it. But for everybody else that's working, like all of this is working, anyone who hasn't, we'll do it after class.
Just write your name in the chat if it's not.
Okay, so I think it's just one person. So yeah, don't worry, after class we'll walk you through everything. Okay, fine, and the saving the file is working properly too? Right, okay, so it's working, right? Okay, so now over here, I'll go over the rest. So if it's installed for everybody, that's great. So we've finished a big step. Now we can run our own code. So next, I'm just gonna teach you like the very basics of how we're going to code. So there are these two things called variables and constants. These are used in all programming languages. Basically what a variable is it holds a value. So you can give a variable number and you can give it a value of 4, right? Or you can give a variable name and you can give it a value of Sampreeth, right? So a variable will just hold a value. Okay, let me give you an example in the actual thing. So a variable, the way you assign it is you have to write the variable name, which should say number. Okay, now to give this variable a value, you put a number equals to number. So now you have a variable with the value of number is equal to 4. Okay, making sense? Now to print anything, there is this command in Python called print. Okay, and you put the brackets. What print will do is it'll output anything inside the brackets. All right, that's important. For any time you want to tell the computer, okay, I want you to print and put anything that's inside the brackets and put it outside. Okay, so say print number. So basically, we made a variable number. And this number, we gave it a value of 4. Everyone's following with that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now what we're telling the computer is I want you to print, which is output, the value of inside this bracket. Inside the brackets, we put the number 4, or we put number. Now your computer is like, okay, so he put the variable number. Now it'll search for the variable number, which is here, and it'll see what's inside it. The number 4 is inside it. So now if we click this run button up here, run module, and save, it'll print 4. Because it printed whatever was in the variable that we gave it. Okay, making sense? So
Yeah.
that's what a variable is. A variable, you can change its value. So now this number can also be 7, right? Or a number can also be 2. So that's what a variable is. It's a temporary value that you can change, right? It's really important when making a code or anything like that. Okay, and then the next thing is a constant. A constant is, have you guys heard of pi? You know, 3.14?
Yeah.
So that's a constant. Constants are things that cannot change, right? So the value of pi, the value can never change, right? That's what a constant is. That's not super important right now, so I'll go over it in the future. But if you guys understood what a variable is, then that's great. Just tell me if you have any questions. Just write in the chat. Right, and everyone's good, right? Or you can just like tell me, unmute your mic and tell me. Everyone understood what a variable is, right?
I have a small doubt. How do you undo a command?
Undo a command. Like on this, you want to undo a command?
Yeah.
Just remove it, X this out, and then when you rerun it, it won't run anything. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now when you run it, nothing's gonna happen. So you can just keep on rerunning it, change it, run it, save it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Next we're going to learn what a data type is. Now that's it for theory today. Data types. Once you're done with that, then it's okay. So a data type. So a variable can be, I showed you, it can be a number is equal to something, right? But a variable can also be a name. Now, how does your computer know whether this is going to be a list of words, right? Whether it's going to be Sampreeth, or whether to treat it as a number. So that's why different variables have different types. So this type is a number. It's a type of number. This is a type of word, right? It's storing words, it's storing text, right? So when it stores text like this, it is called a string, okay? So name is a string because it's holding text. Okay, so anything that holds text or words or characters, that's going to be a string. Anything that stores numbers is going to be an integer, right? Making sense? An integer. Just make note of it if you want. Integer and string. Okay? Anyone have any questions? A little bit
No.
confused? It's a little bit confusing when you first learn about it. But yeah, everyone's good. Right? No questions. Okay, great. Just tell me. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. So yeah, there you go. So can someone tell me? 1 second. Can someone tell me? Put in the chat, or someone tell me. Is this an integer or a string? It's just a small question. Make sure you understand.
Integer.
It's an integer, right? Now,
Yeah.
when defining a string, what's also important is that you use these semicolons, or sorry, the air quotation marks. When defining a string, you always use quotation marks. Okay? Does that make sense for everybody? So
Yeah.
now tell me, would this be a string? Or would it be an
Yeah.
integer? It's a
It's a
string.
string.
Okay, great. Now here's a little bit more challenging, just some simple stuff. Would this be a variable, or I mean, would this be an integer or a string? This one right here.
Integer. No, string.
String.
It would be a string.
Oh, string.
Exactly. Because it uses, when it takes it as a quotation mark, it's always going to take it as a string. It'll ignore the number inside of it. Okay? Make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, now that you know that strings are always surrounded with quotation marks. So imagine you want to print a word instead of a variable, right? You can use these quotation marks and print something random, right? Now that you put quotation marks, it's not going to search for a variable. It'll directly print hello world. Right? Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now if you run this, it'll run hello world. Okay? Or when you want to run a variable, you never put quotation marks. Right? So say, or like this, right? I'm not putting quotation marks because I want it to run this, print this. Okay? And you print that. It's going to print hello because it's going to see, okay, you want me to print what is inside the print example. Now it'll find the variable example up here and it'll see what's inside of it. Hello. This hello will then be outputted by the computer. Right? Making sense? Anybody have questions?
No.
Okay, great. So how much time? We actually finished more than 30 minutes. Are you guys enjoying? You want me to do a little bit more? Or do you guys, I mean, that's all I have for today.
You guys want to
so
continue for 5 more minutes? Or do you guys have something else to do?
If you guys are
No.
busy.
Are
Okay.
you okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's great then.
Yeah.
I'm unable to see the screen. I'm unable to see the screen actually.
Oh shoot. 1 second.
I can only see 4 screens over here. Vaishnav, you and someone else's one.
Is it working
yeah.
better now?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay, so I will just go over some rules of variables. So you saw what a variable was, right? And how to name them. Okay, so these are all variables. Now you cannot just put whatever you want as a variable, right? So there's some rules we have to follow. For example, a variable cannot start with a number. So if you put 2x, it starts with 2, right? So if you try to run this, 2x is equal to low. Okay, now if you try to print this 2x as a variable, it'll be like, okay, it's a variable, find this variable and print this. It should work, right? Run module, save. Now it's actually giving a syntax error because a variable cannot start with a number. Okay, making sense? That's one rule, an important rule. It cannot also, you know, the special characters, any of these right? A variable cannot also start with any of those. See, like hashtag X or add X. Okay, and you run this, it's gonna give you a syntax error. Okay, right? So those are just some rules for
What's the
variables.
syntax?
Okay, syntax is basically the rules that you have to follow for writing a program. So if you do not follow the rules that Python gives you, then it won't work. It'll give you an error, a syntax error. But if you follow the syntax, the example, like a syntax is naming a variable like this. The syntax that the computer follows, that you have to follow. So it's basically a set of rules, right? If you follow their syntax, you will not get a syntax error. Or else, like, the computer has a set of commands that it understands. But if you give it a command that it doesn't understand, it'll give you a syntax error. Okay? Or you break one of their rules. Like, this is breaking a rule, right? You're not allowed to start a variable with that. So it'll give you a
Okay.
syntax error. Okay?
Yeah.
That's cool. What else? So it can have numbers inside of it, like we saw. I put example 2, right? So a variable can have numbers inside. One more important thing to remember is Python uses case sensitive. It is case sensitive, which means it can detect the difference between a capital letter and a lowercase letter. So if you put example, lowercase e, and you put example,
Sapna, there's a request from Yogita. If you can get started with her, she's on.
hello. Okay, now if you run example, it should find example over here. But if you were to run example like this, then it'll run this instead. Okay, so it can detect the difference between a capital letter and a lowercase letter. We'll just test it out. Okay, great. So it ran this, right? So these are just some normal rules that we have to remember. One more fun thing to do, when you're printing, you can also mix in the two. So I told you when you want to print a word, right? Or a couple of text, right? You can put the the air quotation marks, right? And now it'll print hello. And then I also said that if you wanted to print a variable name, it'll print this example, right? It'll find example this. Now, if you want to print two of them together, say like, we'll change this to, okay. Now I will print hello with this. Now it should print hello. Now, if you use a plus button, and now you can add another variable at the same time. So your computer is gonna like print hello, okay? I'll print hello. Now they want me to add something. They want me to add example. What's the example? Since I didn't put quotation marks, it's gonna search for the variable example. It'll look at what's inside YouTube. So it'll print hello space, I put a space there, YouTube. Now if you run that, it'll give you hello YouTube. Right? Anyone have any questions? Make sense for everybody?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
What if you want to put like a random? So then imagine you want to make like a name saying what you are, and one is amazing and one is bad. So then, if you wanted to mix it random, how do you do that?
Oh yeah, okay, so there's actually inbuilt Python functions. It's a little bit more complex. There's actually a function called random. It's like part of the Python libraries. So I'll actually teach you how to do all of that later. Don't worry about it. It's actually really fun to use. You can make like dice blocks that'll output random numbers, right? So I'll go over that in the next few classes. It's a little bit of a wider topic, but good question.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll cover everything. Yeah, I guess that's all the time we have for today. Anyone have any questions? Everyone understood everything? Just type yes in the chat if you're good. Okay, everyone's good?
Yes.